Hi, Armand Diaz here with another video astroblog question and answer, this time about transiting Pluto to the Vertex-Antivertex axis. Well, that's a kind of a specific question, and I don't know that I can answer it with any real satisfactory precision because we'd need to really look at the whole chart and see what was going on in other areas and so on. But the basics of it involve the vertex. Now, the vertex is one of those things that astrologers, well, we know it's there, and we probably know the definition of it. It's the point where the prime vertical intersects the ecliptic. We might even know the definition of the prime vertical. But it doesn't really help in terms of interpretation. There's nothing symbolic about any of that. Those are astronomical points. What is really the meaning of that in terms of how it might affect you? Well, the vertex is usually associated as a kind of access point. Not axis, but access point, a kind of point where people come into your lives. It's used very frequently in synastry. When we compare two charts. So we would say something along the lines of, your vertex lands on his moon. Something that might sound a little uncomfortable in a way. But it usually would be considered to be, well, this is an important connection. Some astrologers would want to say that it's a fated connection. I think that important is a little bit better term, that it is a significant connection. It's not necessarily all that fated. There are probably a lot of people that could land on your vertex after all. That also sounds a little uncomfortable. But when we have a strong connection with somebody and it's through the vertex, we often feel that there is this sort of something that has to be done. There can be a kind of fated past life in the sense of like a sort of past life connection or something like that, but not necessarily that either. So when there's a transit to the vertex, and the transits are usually by conjunction or opposition, the anti-vertex is sort of the point opposite the vertex, we would usually look only at the conjunction and the opposition. I mean, squares, maybe, trines and sextiles, I mean, perhaps. But something's really significant when we're talking about a conjunction or an opposition, especially since it's to bring people in. An opposition, it would be a natural aspect to look at. So when we have a significant transit to the vertex by a planet, we usually think that the experience that the person will be bringing in someone who has kind of a symbolic value associated with that planet. For example, if it were the planet Jupiter, that might be a time when a teacher, a guru, or someone like that comes into your life. Now, Pluto. Well, that could go a lot of ways, huh? I think that we shouldn't get overly, well, first of all, since you're asking this question about a romantic relationship, we certainly shouldn't get overly suspicious about this. And since it's the other person who is experiencing the transit rather than you, I mean, we can only hope that you're not being nefarious in any way. So what we would say, essentially, is that this would be someone who really has a capacity to transform this person. That this is a type of relationship where there could be a significant potential for transformation, for really deep bonding and really deep change. It may, at times, feel like it's out of control. In other words, it's not necessarily that, very simple kind of, we're together and this is a wonderful transformative caterpillar to butterfly type of thing. It could be somewhat stressful at times because Pluto does involve sort of tearing down or eroding the structures that can sometimes act as barriers. So the ultimate goal could be quite good, and if you're both willing to stick with the process, it could be a very deep connection. It might not be an easy connection at every point, however. That's about what I can say without looking at the charts, and it's probably a little bit more than I should say without looking at the charts and without talking to you, but I hope it gives you some idea and gives you a bit of an answer to your question.